Hey everyone, today they released the Set 12 Magic and Mayhem overview, so we're going to be going over all the changes that's going to be done in this set, and that's going to include all the champions, there are like 60 some of them, the traits, and see what's going to be happening for the next couple months of TFT. So grab your favorite drink, mine is water, and let's sit down and go through all the little changes. So first things first, welcome to the Magitorium. Stuff about mages, wizards, things like that, conjuring up portals with our very first trait, Portal. So this is going to be with Jace as a 1 cost and Shapeshift, Zoe 1 cost as well, Witchcraft Scholar, Galio 2 gold Vanguard Mage. So that's going to be a 3 trait for both of these, Kassadin Multi-Striker at 2 cost, Ezreal at 3 Blaster, Rise 4 at Scholar, Taric 4 at Bastion, and then Nora and Yuumi 5 gold, Best Friends, and Mage. I actually don't know who Nora is. Is that something to do with Yuumi? But open a portal to unleash disruptive debris and helpful antics every few seconds. The contents become more impactful based on the portal unit's star levels. So is this kind of like a play on the unit summoning traits as we've seen in the past, where it's based on the star level of whatever units you're playing? Portal units also gain a shield at the start of combat that lasts 15 seconds. Contents include Ziggs bombs, Poro snacks, temporary items, and even the occasional Lost Krug. I hope they find their way home, and they're saying to do it with a fast 8 strategy. So that does make sense because Rise, I'm assuming, is going to be a damage dealer, and then they have Taric at Bastion, which is of course a tank. So that makes perfect sense at 4 costs. I'm sure we could synergize it with something else, maybe with like a 5 cost or 3 cost Bastion, maybe get a couple Scholars there, you know? And then later you cap out the trait with 2 AP carries, Rise and Nora and Yuumi. So Rise opens up even more portals, same but different, that fires bolts at the closest enemies, while our iconic duo from Runeterra, Nora and Yuumi, launch magical swirly balls that will bounce even faster if you cast quickly. So let's take a look over here. So we have Taric in the front with the tank items. In the back, I'm assuming that's Yuumi and Nora with the hat, jeweled gauntlet, and the blue buff. We have Rise there with the adaptive helm. So that's one of the temporary items that we kind of get. The Bloodthirster just dropped on. I'm not really too sure who's in the front, but Ezreal looks like he could be a solid secondary carry. Maybe there's even like a reroll Ezreal comp that you could kind of try. Maybe it's similar to like the faded builds that we've seen in the past. But what I'm thinking is that Ezreal doesn't have a different 3 cost in Portal that could kind of help him out. But maybe, just maybe, there are other 3 cost units that can kind of be complemented with him. But maybe he's just an item holder for Rise. Let's go into the next trait, which is Dragon. Namzi at 1 gold, also a hunter. Shyvana, my favorite champion, 2 gold, Shapeshifter, and then Smolder, 5 gold, and Blaster. So they have all the dragons here. Are they missing any? I swear there's like another oh, Aesol. They're missing Aesol. If you're a fan of Darkened Back in Runeterra Reforged, I was not. We've got another small splash trait with a fiery and adorable twist. Okay. When fielding 2 dragons, their attacks and abilities will burn and wound their targets for 5 seconds. As a reminder, burn means they deal a bit of the bad guy's total health as true damage every second, and wound makes it so that they heal less by a third. When you manage to field all 3 dragons, the power of friendship upgrades all dragons' abilities. Okay, let's check that out down here. So we have Shyvana in the front as a tank. I prefer her AP. We have Smolder flying around. So Smolder reminds me a lot about Aurelion Soul in set 3, Rebel Aurelion. Kind of flying around as the legendary dragon and just causing a bunch of chaos. And then we have Namzi, the attack damage dealer, in the back. Next one up, we have his Witchcraft, 2-4-6-8. Poppy, 1 cost at Bastion. Zoe, 1 cost Portal and Scholar. We kind of already went over Zoe. Cassiopeia, 2 gold Incanter. Nico, 2 gold Shapeshifter. And Fiora, 4 gold Warrior. And then Morgana, 5 gold. She's also a Bad Queen, whatever that means, and a Preserver. So when stricken by these wicked champions, enemies sicken, losing max health at Witchcraft, healing the lowest health witch for damage taken, becoming frail, taking bonus true damage from witches, and finally transforming into a frog, becoming stunned, with all other curse effects increasing in strength. While getting to Witchcraft 8 will take 2 craftable emblems. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That does seem a little hard. Running a reroll Witchcraft comp is also an option. So I'm guessing that's going to be with Nico and Cassiopeia, and maybe Zoe and Poppy. Hopefully both versions would be viable. There were some comps in the past where it's like the 1 cost and 2 cost rerolls could work, but maybe this one focuses more on the 2 cost. It kind of depends on what their abilities are. You always need a carry, you always need a tank, so whatever kind of fits that role the best will work. There's also a gold hero augment that will make Poppy, who typically gains a shield and wallops a target, into a terror, no longer gaining a shield, but instead walloping her foe 3 times. While you're rolling at low level, grab bows for Cassiopeia, whose ability allows her attacks to scale with AP and deal magic damage. Perfect for her Incanter trait, which gathers AP every time an Incanter casts or every other attack. So maybe you could do like a Nashor's build with her, Nashor's red buff, maybe something like that will work. We'll have to see. Of course, we'll be updating the website, bunnymuffins.lol/meta. Actually, bunnymuffins.lol/PBE for all the PBE comps, because this is going to be coming out really, really soon. Leading this crafty coven is the Bat Queen Morgana, who gains a shield and summons swarms of bats to seek out enemies, dealing damage, true damage if they're low HP, and sometimes abducting them as 1-star to your bench, or an item component if that's not bewitching. So reminds me of Lissandra of last set. What could possibly go wrong when you could kind of steal items? Not steal items, but copy items or an item component. That would be that'd kind of be hard to balance, right? Kind of like almost exactly like Lissandra from last set, but let's check it out. We have Morgana in the front, so she's going to be a melee. Poppy main tank, of course. Cassiopeia in the back with Rage Blade Nashers. Okay. And then we have the emblems to get to 8, so pretty wild stuff. We saw some stuff flying around. Stole a Lilia, not bad. Next one up we have is Honeymancy 357. I don't even know what that means. I guess it's kind of like magic with honey or something like that. I want to see what skins they come out with. Blitzcrank at 1 gold and Vanguard, Ziggs and Cantor, Kog'Maw 2 gold Hunter, Nunu and Willem 2 gold Bastion, and then Veigar 3 gold and Mage. How do you say this? I've heard Vigar, Vagar. I don't even know. It doesn't really matter to me. I kind of use all 3 of them. I don't know, but I'm buzzing with excitement on this one. Honeymancer summons a swarm of bees, each dealing a small portion of their damage dealt and an even smaller portion of damage taken as magic damage every 3 seconds. If a Honeymancer falls, one of their loyal bees will beeline to another Honeymancer and stick around for the rest of battle. Okay, that's pretty funny stuff. If you don't think that's the bee's knees, Veigar will have you bee-lated. With Veigar's ability, King Bee's Judgment, he'll gain ability power for every charm purchase. AP that'll come in handy with spammable single target ability. Alright, let's check that out. By the way, kind of odd. I thought it's more like the queen bee or something like that, but I guess everyone's a bee. And they're actually doing a king bee. Okay, so we have in the back Veigar, and this honey skin looks way too funny for me. They're against some dragons with Namzi in the back. Okay, so they're just like kind of swarming people, but I guess like Titans would work pretty well with them because you want them to take damage. You want them to deal a lot of little bits of damage. Maybe I'm reading this wrong though. Let's go on into the next comp, which is going to be Eldritch. So this is a 3, 5, 7, 10. Have we seen other 10 cost comps yet? Or 10 trait comps? I believe there was one of them. Yeah, the first one, Portal. So we have Portal and Eldritch so far. And this one is going to be Ashe at 1 gold with multi-striker. So you could do like Ashe Cassidy was another multi-striker. Elise Shapeshifter. Nyla 2 gold warrior. Wait, they're bringing shapeshifters back. Is Shyvana a shapeshifter? Swear to God. Okay, yeah, she is. Perfect. So I'm excited to kind of see that. Nyla, Warrior, Syndra, and Cantor. Mordekaiser, 3 gold Vanguard. Nami, 4 cost Mage. Briar, 5 gold Ravenous Shapeshifter. So definitely want to do some sort of shapeshifter comp with this because you have Elise and Briar. But we'll need to kind of guess how far into Eldritch you kind of want to go with that build. It'll depend what the traits give, I guess. We'll find more about that later. Looking at the cost of the units, you might be able to do like a low-cost reroll again, like 2 gold or 1 gold. Maybe mix it up with the other comp, because I think the other comp had Nico, which was also a shapeshifter. There's got to be something to do with Eldritch, and I forget what the other one was. Was it Witchcraft? Yeah, it was Witchcraft. There's got to be something there, because in Cantors, yeah, like you can mix it up with Syndra, Elise, with the Nico plus whoever the other person was. But our premier summon trait resurrects an old god after your team loses a portion of their combined health. At 3, your team summons a tainted golem. 5, the Dark Monolith joins, and then at 7, the Many-Eyed Beast builds off of 5, which kind of stuns adjacent enemies with their ability hitting nearby enemies, causing attacks to briefly chain. But at 7, the Beast attacks always chain lightning to nearby enemies, and their ability splits the sky, dealing damage to enemies near their target and boosting the Beast's AS. There's also 10 Eldritch, which brings up Stormbringer, who will visit your board, causing enemies to briefly flee before slamming the board, stunning enemies for 5 seconds. Holy cow. Okay, well, 10 traits always, like, they're going to average like a 2 point something, right? So it sounds really, really good. Note, lightning hurts. You can get struck by lightning twice. In fact, the Stormbringer could also do so 30 times you. Okay, that does not sound that fun. But let's take a look here. How many are they going to show here? So we have, okay, they're going to show 10. So yeah, he just jumped in. It looks like a okay, oh my god. Yeah, it kind of looks like a Volibear or something, but yeah. Does a lot. Alright, let's get into the next one. We have Arcana 2, 3, 4, 5. I always like those types of traits. Very simple to use and kind of like build upon later on. But we have Ari at 2 gold and Scholar. Hecarim, 2 gold Bastion multi-striker, Tahm Kench, 4 gold Vanguard, Xerath, 5 gold Ascendant. Don't be confused with your reading. Arcana may appear as complex signs and symbols, aka tooltips, but they really present 5 distinct yet simple strategies you can use the Arcana signifier to choose from. So activate Ahri as your high Arcana. Your team gains ability power. So that reminds me of Faded from last set, right? And that's going to be based on each 3-star champion. Hecarim grants champions holding items damage reduction and AD. Tahm Kench gives your team bonus health for each trait active. And Xerath allows abilities to deal bonus true damage for each charm purchased this game. Lastly, when an Arcana emblem wearer is designated as your high Arcana, your team gains damage amp for each fielded champion holding a spatula item. So get ready to cook. So they all have different uses. So I'm assuming we're going to be switching them depending on what's going on compared to like other sets where you just like choose one. No. It's probably just going to be choose one of them based on whichever one's strongest that patch. That's my guess at least, but I am hoping to be wrong there. So you want to slot in Arcana champions with your chosen high Arcana to best fit your strategy. Ahri greatly enhances AP reroll. Tahm Kench gives you a healthy version to stand united. And the real crown is Xerath. So Xerath's ability may be simple, screams and lightning bolts, but Xerath's legendary Ascendant trait gives you access to Ascendant charms, which are much more powerful and usually more expensive than standard charms. We'll talk more about charms later. So let's take a look here. We have in the back Xerath, Shojin, so he probably has a high mana pool. Archangels, you want to scale with him. Hat, generic AP. We have Tahm Kench in the front. Boom with the Warmogs, and then, okay. I see Xerath, pretty decent ability there. Let's move on to the next trait, which is Fairy. Lilia, Bastion, Seraphine, 1 gold Mage, Tristana, 2 gold Blaster, Katarina, Warrior, Callista, Multi-Striker, Rakan, Preserver, and Milio, Scholar at 5 gold. Okay, so Milio, Legendary. What's that going to do? All you need is Faith, Trust, and an entire Fae army at your disposal. Fairies gain health and create special items that become stronger with trait tiers. At 2 and 4 Fairy, you'll be able to equip Fairy Queen's Crown, which grants damage amplification. At 6, you'll receive Glamored Armor, which grants healing based on the Queen's damage, as well as a bunch of defensive stats. Lastly, at 9, the armor and crown will become radiant, becoming much more powerful. Only fairies can wear fairy items, so it's kind of like the Ink Shadow trait or any item making one, like what's the other one called? The original one. Idis was in that. I forgot what Shimmer Scale. But a fairy emblem, which is made from spatula and tier, can make it so anyone can sit with these queens. Okay, so this is probably going to be a fast 8 comp. You have Callista and Rakan at 4 gold, and then you could cap out with Milio at 5 gold. I'm assuming Callista's attack damage as a multi-striker. Milio will get your AP items. Definitely some mana items. I assume Milio's going to have a lot of utility. But the Fairy Queen's Crown has many units that can be crowned. My favorite, though, are Katarina and Callista. Running just 2 Fairy is enough to complement a Warrior Katarina carry comp, benefiting greatly from the additional damage amp and Omnivamp that Warrior trait also provides. Multi-Striker Callista also benefits from the crown, with her Multi-Striker ability gaining her attacks a chance to trigger 2 more times, stacking more spears from her ability, Rend, that she can then rend for additional damage. And then looking for a Glamored Armor wearer, look no further than Rakan or Lilia, depending if you're re-rolling more, who loves the sparkle and feel-good healing of the dazzling drip. All right, so let's take a look down here. I already see a Dragon Claw flying across my screen, but we have some of the items equipped there. Who do we have in the back? That's Tristana, Seraphine, Callista. Where's Milio? Let me go back a bit. So, Milio's in the back. Yeah, with the Shojin, as I was talking about before, probably like a utility legendary. And yeah, okay, not bad. Let's move on into the next one. We have Druid Wukong as 3 gold. Just because Wukong doesn't benefit from traditional trait power doesn't mean he can't be a threat. Need a frontliner in a comp that lacks it? What about a defensive item holder? Or how about a druid with a can-do attitude? Look no further than Wukong. So I guess he's going to be mediocre at everything. That's kind of how my druid was in World of Warcraft. Wasn't the best healer, wasn't the best damage dealer, wasn't the best tank, but at least you could do all 3, right? Wukong gains bonus armor and MR from all sources, making him a solid item holder or solo frontliner. His ability, Cyclone, has him spin, gaining a shield and dealing physical damage that scales with his defenses. In addition to opening up comps that lack frontline, Wukong also has a hero augment, Spin to Win, that will have you skipping the stone plate for a more sword-based build. The augment grants 2 Wukongs and allows your strongest Wukong's ability to scale with attack damage instead of resistances. He'll also gain bonus stats, but enough monkeying around. It's time to really get cooking. All right, so he's got the stone plate build here, though, with the Warmogs. Let's see. He's against, was that a Nunu and a Blitzcrank? All right. This clip seems a little long for just a bunch of tanks hitting each other, and you just spin, deal a bunch of damage. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have Sugarcraft 246, Soraka, Mage, Rumble, 2 gold, Blaster, Vanguard, Bard, 3 gold, Preserver, Scholar, Jinx, 3 gold, Hunter, Gwen, 4 cost, Warrior. Is this a 3 cost reroll comp? I'm kind of smelling it right now, but you don't really have a tank, so I'm guessing it might be something else. Maybe you could go for like I don't know, let's read it first. Sweet, it's baking time. Sugar crafters have increased AP and AD and collect sugar for each equipped item component after player combat. They then use this sugar to cook layers of cake, each layer increasing their bonus AP and AD. After 7 layers, their elaborate cake is cooked to perfection, serving out bite-sized treats in the form of gold and other Okay, so this is the econ trait. This is the fortune trait of the set. I was getting confused for a bit because I was looking at the champions. I was like, nothing seems like that great in terms of rolling patterns, but it's the fortune trait. So you cook up 7 layers, you get a bunch of items and stuff. So I guess we'll have to time that. It'll be interesting to see whether you want to get a lot of Sugarcraft early, maybe in stage 2, later stage 3, maybe even sometimes in late game stage 4 or 5. What I liked about some of the other econ traits in the recent sets is that it wasn't always just you want it early. Obviously, it's good to have it early, but it wasn't always the best time to have it. Sometimes people wanted it late, sometimes people wanted it in the middle, depended on the patch. So I hope they continue that trend with Sugarcraft in set 12. As a medium-sized trait, there are a couple of ways to play Sugarcraft. There's a sweet synergy with Honeymancy, rolling at 7, mostly for copies of Jinx, Bard, Rumble, and Honeymancers like Cogmaw, Nunu, and Blitzcrank. From there, you could go a couple of directions, opting deeper into both traits while activating Mage with Soraka, Vhagar, and an Emblem, or another Mage, or taking the Path of Fire, shielding Shen and Varus. And regardless, honey, heat, and a whole lot of magic sure help bake a good cake. So I'm actually gluten intolerant, so cakes are not for me, despite the muffins in the name. Unfortunate, I know. But we have in the front, who is that, Blitzcrank? I forgot who they were. No, that is Rumble in the front. We got Gwen. We got Bard in the back or something, and Soraka and Jinx. Not gonna lie, kind of hard to tell which champ is which with the skins, but I'm sure we'll get used to it in no time. By the way, let me know what your favorite skin you've seen so far down in the comments below. But next up we have is Krono. Chrono Jax, 1 gold multi-striker. We have Zillion. Oh no, they don't have Chrono Jin or whatever. What was the Chrono sniper build of the past? I forgot what it was. Actually, I don't even think Jin was a Chrono. Caitlyn was a Chrono sniper. But Zillion, 2 gold Frost Preserver, Vex, 3 gold Mage, Karma, 4 gold Enchanter, and then Camille, 5 gold multi-striker. This is not the first time we've collaborated with Wild Rift, see Zoe from Inkborn Fables, but it is the first time we're collaborating with them for an entire trait. At the start of combat, a 16-second countdown begins and Chronos gain 15 AP. From here, each Chrono cast speeds up the countdown by 1 second, granting a powerful bonus when complete. At 2 Chrono, the team restores a portion of their health, and Chronos gain AP. At 4, all units freeze except for allied Chronos for 2 seconds, and then Chronos gain even more AP, and then at 6, Chronos gain attack speed and health. So this is definitely going to be an ability power build, which is interesting, because Camille normally I think of as an attack damage dealer, but Chronos seem to be granting AP at this time. The trait will also have you at the edge of your seat, waiting for the Chrono countdown to kick into effect, and hopefully change the tide of battle while you're waiting for Chrono effects to occur. Okay, the legendary of the trait, Camille, already diving into the fray, hookshotting the lowest percentage enemy health within 3 hexes every time her current target dies. On arrival, she deals damage and empowers her next attack, which will also be empowered every time she uses her ability. That's right, that's just her passive. Her ability, Temporal Anomaly, has her knock back and stun enemies adjacent to her target for 1 second, dealing physical damage and creating a containment zone. In the zone, she gains damage reduction and attack damage. So let's look at Camille here with the Bloodthirster, with the Titans, with the Hand of Justice. Is she going to dive onto the Varus or something? Okay, no, she's just kind of sitting in the front. And there she goes. She bounces off, hits the... Is that a Shen? And then bounces again. Wow, okay. Pretty cool legendary. I'd say pretty decent. 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Nah, maybe 8 out of 10 compared to the other ones. I think her and Smolder are my favorite legendaries so far. Pyro, 2, 3, 4, 5. Akali, 2 gold multi-striker warrior. Shen, 2 gold Bastion. Nasus, 4 gold shapeshifter, and then Varus, 4 gold blaster. Pyro is a smaller trait with attack speed fantasy that hits fast enough to ignite any enemy, so I'm guessing we're going to be building some Rageblade Varus or something like that. The trait gives Pyro's attack speed and executes low health enemies. On kill, Pyro's store a cinder that you can collect during your planning. I just realized Smolder's in this set, but she is not a Pyro. Your team gains a small amount of attack speed plus 1% for every 4 cinders collected. At 5, the Pyro execution threshold is higher, resulting in more Pyro kills and cinders to collect. My favorite way to play Pyro is as a fast 8 comp. So let's see. Yeah, Nasus and Varus, both 4 cost, like no brainer, right? With Hecarim's Arcana active. So Varus, Tahm Kench, and Nasus are your core 4 units to itemize, with Shen, Akali, Briar, Hecarim, and Rumble rounding out the roster. You don't have to play fast 8 here though, as rerolling at level 6 and running Akali alongside a few Eldritch units like Nyla, Ashe, and Mordekaiser is incredibly effective as well. No accompanying video here, unfortunate. Next one up we have is Frost 3579, Twitch 1 gold Hunter, Warwick 1 gold Vanguard, Zillion 2 cost Chrono Preserver, Hui 3 gold Blaster, no way. And then Swain, Shapeshifter, 3 gold, Olaf, 4 gold Hunter, Diana, 5 gold, and Bastion. Oh, they're going to have a lot of Bastions that are expensive. What is it? Tarek's a 4 cost, Diana's 5 cost. Burr, is it cold in here? Well, it's summertime right now, so I wish it was. Frost champions freeze the first enemies that die into allied ice soldiers. Enemies hate being cold and will prioritize attacking ice soldiers within range upon retargeting. Imagine Azir with like ice soldiers or something like that. Frost champions also gain ability power and attack damage that increases as you reach higher trait breakpoints. Do you want to build an ice soldier? At 3 Frost, you'll get 1 ice soldier. At 5, you'll receive 2. At 7, 3 soldiers, and they will explode, dealing damage upon death. At 9 Frost, you'll be able to assemble 5 soldiers, and their explosion power will double. Trust me, the cold will bother them. And then soldiers' health increase with stage. This reminds me of like Lyssandra's passive or whatever, where when you kill someone, you get like a walking frozen corpse or something that explodes. Not bad. The Ice Queen of the trait is quite the nice queen, but that doesn't mean 5 cost won't slay her foes. Diana's ability, Snowfall, has her dash to hit the most units or most enemies and heal. After a brief delay, she'll deal magic damage to all enemies within 2 hexes and create a snowfall every other cast that chills enemies and heals allies over a couple seconds. And then you also get shielding with the X's healing, and her ability is quite spectacular too. Just look at the VFX. All right, we'll be the judge of that. So we have Diana in the front with the items. Let's take a look at her. We have Warwick also in the back, Zillion, Hui, and boom. Healing. And shielding on the units. Does it hit the whole map? Did they mention that before? And I thought it was just units around her. Dude, if it's the whole map, like, what? Heals all allies. Okay, I guess it's everyone then. That's every other cast. Okay, and that is going to be it for now. That's a wrap on the Magical Origins on our Magic and Mayhem set, which goes live with patch 14.15, and that's going to be on July 31st, so end of the month, and it also hits PBE on July 16th, so that's 2 days from now as of posting. Late in the afternoon though. They're always late on this. It might not be the afternoon, it could be the nighttime, so be sure to keep up on the lookout for other Magic and Mayhem content. All right, so overall, like, favorite trait? So there's Portal, Honeymancy, Eldritch. A lot of people have been liking Eldritch, as I saw on some, like, forums or whatever. So we have Portal, Dragon. I like Shyvana. I'm a Shyvana main, so I gotta give some props to that. But Fairy we have over here. Like, I used to play the Fairy deck in Yu-Gi-Oh!, so I have a soft spot for that too. Druid from World of Warcraft, like, goddamn. Sugarcraft, no, I don't really like econ traits that much. Like, I'll play them, I'll have fun with them, but they're never my favorite trait, you know? Chrono, okay. This one's the one that gains AP. I don't know which one's gonna be my favorite. It might be Frost, because did we see the, like, frozen people here? Let's take a look back here a little bit. So the fight starts. I was mainly just looking at Diana the other time. Okay, we see the Frost soldiers there. That actually is pretty cool. Is it the coolest though? I don't think so. I think the coolest one, I'm gonna have to give that one to maybe Honeymancy. I love the little bees around everyone. It's just so funny to look at. It's actually the one down here. Like, just look at Teemo or whatever. I don't even know who's in the back. Is it Ziggs? Like, it just looks hilarious. I think this one's going to be my favorite trait so far, based on aesthetics and what we've read so far. So now when we're starting to play on the PBE or like on the live set or whatever, I'll probably change who my favorite is, but that one is looking like my favorite one, both like skin wise and like everything like that. But let me know what your favorites are in the comments below. But this is just like a little sneak peek that they gave us for Magic and Mayhem, and hopefully you all enjoyed that. So we'll be coming out with the PBE guide once it drops on like July, whatever date they said. Maybe like a day or two after, depending, because like we need to make the comps too, right? But definitely look out for July 31st when the set is live if you are not a fan of PBE. So we'll be coming out with tier lists and all the other relevant guides once the set comes out. So hopefully everyone's going to be excited about that. But that's going to be it from me today. Hopefully I see you all next time.